NFL Week 1 is almost here, and they are giving us one of the best slates we've ever seen to kick off the year. I'm so excited. Bills, Jets, Aaron Rodgers' first game as a Jet. Lions, Chiefs to start off the year. Two electric offenses. We couldn't get any better, and there's so much more that we're going to talk about. But before we do that, Brendan, how we doing?
I'm good, man. It's finally here, almost. Still 2 weeks. But college football is next week, so that's good. I'm just excited to watch football every day from now until January.
I know. There's like literally just Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Tuesday and Wednesdays.
I mean, and even Wednesday we get some action, you know.
We do get action.
The action.
We do get action.
Fun fact, the college model is the most accurate with Maction. I'll just leave it there. You can go check out, follow the Discord, which brings me to another point. Follow our Discord. Join the channel. We will be dropping all of the model picks, all of the conversations, all of the graphs, all of the stats. All of that will be pushed into that channel. So make sure to join that. We will, that's a central location of conversation, communication, and everything else. And that brings me to another point. I mentioned that we have big news last week. We are rebranding. We will be Statletics from here on out. We are also developing an application that we are going to be testing this football season. And if you want to help test it out, you can actually sign up to do so and test the MVP. So it's an all-purpose statistics app. It has both NFL and college data. On the NFL level, that has NFL player props or player data and team data, and it has socialized pick and reports and even more on the way. So click that link in the chat if you're interested. Sign up for testing the app and join our Discord for more. There's so much going on. We would love to have you on board with the process, but we are here for NFL Week 1 picks. Let's get to them. Bills -2 at New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers' first game in the green. Beach, how do you feel about this one, man? Just off the rip, how do you feel? Who do you think's going to get it?
I think the Bills are going to
win. Okay. So you don't think Aaron Rodgers pulls off a magical first win at home in the home crowd in his first game as a Jet?
No, he definitely could. I don't know, man. It'll definitely be interesting. Now that the Jets were on Hard Knocks, I mean, why not us? They could be them.
So first big game. It's a Monday night game, so it's actually the last game of Week 1, but is the biggest projected game on this slate. Let's talk about some numbers. 78% of the money is on the Bills. 78% of the tickets is on the Bills. So the tickets match the money, something you hardly ever really see nowadays. But, I mean, this is a heavy push on the Bills. And we've seen it. The line opened up at -1, jumped to -1.5, and it's now at -2. So the public is steaming this number up. But the line is moving with it. So it makes me believe that, again, when you see that, Vegas doesn't really know what's going on. They're pushing that line with the public money. So it's risk management. And when you see something like that, it's like, well, it could go either which way. They don't know. Nobody really knows in this instance. It's kind of a pick 'em in my eyes. But I personally don't think that the Jets actually make it happen either. And if you watched, some of our early episodes, I said that the Jets might disappoint compared to their expectations this year because it'll take a while to get acclimated. They've been practicing all offseason together. Aaron Rodgers and these guys, the wide receivers and stuff, been practicing all offseason, but they've never played in a true game. So I think there's going to be a little bit of catch up, and I think this team's going to play at a lot slower pace than people realize. Now, the Jets defense is definitely an elite status group, that's for sure. But I mean, the Bills are still the Bills, and my model has them at right at -3.5, -4. And I think I have to ride that too, What do you think?
I mean, people are thinking the Jets are going to win like 12 games this year after getting A-Rod. And that's just not going to happen. They're like a nine-win team, like a wild card team or something like that.
Right.
It's an divisional game also. So there's a lot of – it's the first Monday night game. I mean, that's going to be like – everyone's going to be so amped up. But people need to remember that it's still the same Bills, but even healthier this year with Allen and like Gabe Davis is all the way healthy now. They get to bring out James Cook now, explosive satellite back out of the backfield. So and the Bills defense is really good. So I don't think that the Jets pull this one off. I think the emotions will be high, but I am going with the Bills here. Now, if it were to get to like 3, then a little different story.
Maybe covered.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it'll be close. Ish. Yeah. I think it'll be close. I just don't think both defenses are very good. I just don't think that the Jets are going to be able to pull it off in their first game. New quarterback and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, when I look at my power rankings, the Jets, the only really thing that they changed from this year to last year is Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But the roster still looks like very, very similar to it did last year. There was no major reconstruction, so I'm not expecting that much of a difference, to be honest with you. So the only thing they have going for them is it is at home. It is a home, but I'm not seeing anything in the analytics. I'm not seeing anything in the public money and what's going on there that really drives me to think that there's something going on that we don't know. This is more of a toss-up. I can't say with certainty, with any conviction on who I would take in this game, but if I had to pick, I would go with the Bills as well. It's not one of my official picks, but I will tell you a team that is one of my picks that I want to slap on the board this year. Give me my Falcons, -3.5. And now I hate that I missed out on the -3 on the show. I had it down in the books earlier from last week at -3, so that's a line that I got. But even at 3.5, it's not as sexy, not as attractive, but I still love it. I think Panthers coming into Atlanta, playing the Falcons, who upgraded at quarterback. People don't realize that Desmond Ridder will be an upgrade from Mariota at quarterback. The defense is much better than it was last year. The trenches on both sides of the football are so much improved. And all of our weapons are healthy. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. We drafted Bijan Robinson, healthy Cordell Patterson. Tyler Algier is still a dog. I think there's no way that the Falcons can give up a game against the Panthers, whose defense is abysmal, whose offensive line is struggling to be 100% going into the season, and whose receiving core is led by 33-year-old Adam Thielen and a maybe good Jonathan Mingo, but that's it. I can't really trust anybody outside of that. So Falcons -3.5. I think this game is not even really that close. The score may not show it, but if you watch it, it's actually going to be kind of a beatdown. So Falcons -3.5, put it on the board. Brendan, do you agree or disagree?
No, the season hasn't started yet, so we haven't seen anything about these teams yet. This is when you have to exploit the teams that are fully refueling a new head coach, a new quarterback, and teams that don't have any sort of weapons on any side. Their defense is horrible. Like, I thought that they could have the worst record. Them or the Cardinals. Like, this team is not going to win this year. Mm-hmm. And I think the Falcons are going to be very good, and it's going to be bully ball. I mean, they're just not going to – they're not going to be able to stop the Falcons' run game. And then I just don't see any – like, I watched the Panthers in preseason, and it was like, but their O-line is so bad, and they have rookies and old men for their wide receiver core, and Miles Sanders won't be able to run the ball. But I see a bunch of people drafting Miles Sanders like really high in fantasy football, and it's just not going to be that way. He was behind the Eagles' offensive line last year, and now you put him against the Panthers' O-line, which if I put on 100 pounds, I could play it probably right now. So, yeah, these are games that you have to exploit, though, before the season's even started. Like, what is it, 3.5?
3.5 now.
Yeah, I mean, it should be more like 7.
My model has it at a little over 4.5, almost -5. So yeah. I'm trusting that number more. And now I get it because it's, kind of like I said earlier, the Falcons are going to run the ball so much that it's not going to drive them to score a ton of points. So the scoreboard may not show like a 10, 20-point win. But if you watch the game, it'll feel like that, even though it might be only a 7-point win or a 5-point win or so on. So, I get the skepticism around that 3.5, but I mean, I just think this team is gonna like mangle the Panthers on both sides of the football. So
the Panthers aren't gonna score more than 10 points. There's no way.
I would be
Like,
shocked.
I'll die on the hill. There's no way. This is the first. Bryce Young's like 5 feet tall, and he's going to be behind like the worst offensive line in the NFL. So it's not. Dang, it would be really interesting to see if he can create like he did in Alabama, though. But everyone's so much faster in the NFL that it'll be really difficult. And I think 3.5 is so low. Like a score of like 24-10 is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I actually have it 20-10 in mine. So
almost
like where your head's at. All right, let's get back to the exciting games. And the very first game of NFL Week 1, Lions at Chiefs, Kingdom -6.5, -7 on some books now. But do we actually get a new look Lions? Is this Lions team going to elevate themselves again and become a top 10 team in the league? Will they get it? Will they keep it close with the Chiefs, or is this just going to be a blowout like what the money is showing here? What do you think?
No, man. They played first game of the season last year, I believe. Also, I'm trying to see what the schedule was. I was like high on the Lions to cover that for some reason, and they definitely did not.
Yeah. So before you say anything else, let me give you a snippet of what's going on in Vegas right now. 43% of the bets are on Lions, which means 57 are on Chiefs, but 72% of the money is on the Lions. So the majority of the population is on the Chiefs, but the majority of the money is on the Lions. So somebody behind the scenes is throwing insane money at the Lions. So I don't know. Like the line hasn't moved, and sometimes when you see that much money going on the Lions, it makes me like Vegas typically moves the lines in that situation, but they haven't. So I don't know. Take what you will from that, but it's a little suspicious.
No, I mean, the Chiefs are the world champions of football, and the Lions are still the Lions, even though there are Lions, and they still will be forever.
True.
The Lions are a shootout team. You know, what was it last year? Midway through the season, they averaged 32 points a game and averaged giving up 32 points a game. Like, seriously, that's what it was. And so, I mean, they could definitely put points on the board, but there's no way they'll match the Chiefs.
Right.
No way. And they have two brand new running backs in there, which I think they're both going to be pretty good, and they don't have Hawkinson either anymore. I think it's going to be pretty similar to the Lions output they had last season. And I just don't know why. I mean, 6.5 is a pretty high line for the NFL, but
it could be bad. It could be bad.
I still am with the Chiefs. I've got the Chiefs scoring like, I don't know, 40 points or something.
A milli.
100,000
points. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I know. So the way that we do the show here is we talk about the big games and the lines first, and then we also tack on any picks that we really like. And this game obviously is one of the biggest of the week. And I don't want to touch it. You know, like I know
it's a great first game.
It is. It's an amazing first game, and I hope there's points galore. I think it could be like the Rams Chiefs game back in 2018 or something,
that
when
was amazing.
Jared Goff and Mahomes put up like 110 total points in a single game. Oh my gosh, give me that again. And so that can it's the same quarterbacks, you know. It's the same quarterbacks. You know, when the Rams and the Chiefs had an all-time scoring game back in 2018 in Sunday Night Football, this gives me that same feel. And the total's only 54 right now. I'll just say it. Last time they did something like this, it was 110 point total. So that's a fun one. I'm not going to touch it though. I can go either which way. I don't think there's any savviness in touching the line, but maybe the over. Who knows? Brendan, I know you got a couple on the board. Give me something you like. Feed me.
Yeah, I'll take. And these are all my official picks because I only put up official picks. The first game I have is the Seahawks -4.5 against the Rams. And the reason I like the Seahawks -4.5 against the Rams is because the Rams are terrible. And the Seahawks are actually pretty good. And they just got JSN, who's may not play in this game, but their passing attack should be very good, as well as they drafted Zach Charbonnet. And they're still going to feature Kenneth Walker until he gets hurt, which he probably will.
Mhm.
But the Rams defense, the Rams like are trading all their players. They have nothing on offense. It's just Stafford and Cup. The offensive line is worse. I like Seattle here, and they're at home, I believe.
Yeah, that's at Seattle.
The Legion of Boom.
Dude, I like it. I love it a lot. And same, like the Rams are going to struggle. Nobody, if you go look up a roster and you look at their defensive depth chart right now for the Rams, the only name you would recognize is Aaron Donald.
And Byron Young.
Well, yes. In our case, we would definitely recognize Byron Young. But for the average NFL viewer, you would not recognize anybody on that defense except Aaron Donald. So the Rams defense is going to struggle. The offense, I mean, 36-year-old Matthew Stafford and 30-year-old Cooper Kupp can lead the pack, but behind a really, really not good offensive line, is that sustainable? No. They go to the 12th man, like you just mentioned, and people like to sleep on Geno. People think that Geno's 2022 season was some like illusion that he just like faked being good, and that just doesn't work.
Let's fake being good for a whole season.
Exactly.
Let's just fake that.
For some reason, that's the attitude that is given towards Geno Smith. People think he just like got by the entire season, but he was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. And not only that, it's his second. Like that was his first year. So this is his second year. Added weapons. I totally agree with everything that you said. And all a numbers breakdown. 68% of the money is on, or 68% of the bets are on Rams. 70% of the money are on Rams. So the public is not on the Seahawks.
That's so bad.
I kind of like it.
That's so bad.
You know?
I swear, as soon as Sean McVay won that Super Bowl, he just like decided not to try anymore, got his extension, and he'll just retire when they fire him. Yeah. I swear. Yeah. Like the team just has nothing on either side of the ball, and the Seahawks are good.
Yeah,
and it's at home.
I'm with you, man. I think that's a one to take advantage of. And the way, if you're listening to this, the way that I would treat this game is truthfully, I would let the public drive that number down even more. It's still going in the Rams' favor. So you're sitting at, it was started at 5.5. Now you can get 4.5. See if you can get 4. See if you can get 3.5. See if you can even get 3 on some books. So that would be the best way to approach this game, as you can see with the money going into the Rams.
That's a good point, Harrison. So thank you. So I don't take it tonight. Because, there's no way it'll go in the other direction, truly.
Right.
Unless,
some news breaks or something, it's going to be driven down. So, all right, man. I'm gonna hop away to a different one real quick. This one, I love the Chargers -3 at home against the Dolphins. I know that this one is a little weird because a lot of people love the Dolphins. 57% of the bets are on the Dolphins. 70% of the money is on the Dolphins. That number started off as -2.5, and it's kind of stuck. It's -3 on some big books, but if you can get it -2.5, that's what I'm doing. Now, I know a lot of people are for the Chargers or the Dolphins. I know that they do have a really good roster, and I expect the Dolphins to be good. But here on this show, here in this house, we believe in killing more.
We always believe in killing more.
We always believe in killing more. I think he's going to elevate this team so much. This is going to be an offensive, just like explosion on both sides of the ball. But I love the Chargers. I think they do have the better overall roster, and especially at home, even though they don't have a true home field advantage. I really like Justin Herbert to come out and make a statement in a thriller of a game. They win by a field goal, if not more, in my projections. I'm about it. Again, this bet really comes down to Kellen Moore and Justin Herbert at home. I'm here for it.
This game's going to be so fun. The only thing I have to say, are there any growing pains at the beginning of the season with the new offense? Are there? Because I'm not touching this game. This game's going to be the most fun game of the whole slate, but like I'm not touching it. I just want to watch and enjoy points.
So you raise a good point. And now, are the growing pains due to the players or the coordinator? Now, all of the players have played together except the rookies, Quentin Johnson. They've all been together. So I imagine there's no growing pains or no chemistry issues there, but would there be growing pains and, finding the rhythm? Is there growing pains with Kellen Moore understanding Justin Herbert and the way that he handles certain situations? Maybe.
Yeah.
But, I think that we can at least be confident in the fact that the chemistry between all of the players is there. And that's not something that is, really changed. It's the roster is the exact same minus the addition of Quentin Johnson and some beefy guys up front on the offensive line. So, but I see what you're saying.
I don't necessarily think there's going to be. I'm just putting that out there as a possibility because I can't because the Dolphins are fine. They have two back. They have Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Defense is all right. Jalen Ramsey's out for the season. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's out for the season, but he did have an operation done.
I don't know. I just think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, but to look at it or to take it in any direction, I can't as of now. Like this is just a game like any week of the season that I probably wouldn't take because I don't favor either way currently. Yeah. But I agree with your take about Kellen Moore, and we'll be taking a lot of Chargers all season.
We will. Just you heard it here first. All right, let's hop up. Brendan, there's a game that we both share in common that we both really like this week. I'll let you handle the reins here, but the Commanders go to Arizona. Commanders -7. Let me hear why you love the Commanders.
Am I wrong?
Why they win.
Am I wrong that I love the Commanders so much the whole season? Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I think, and this is kind of a weird thing to base my judgment on, but I think there's been a total culture shock there and such a change in attitude and mentality after Snyder sold the team. I think everybody's buzzing. The new coaching staff, even though Ron Rivera is still the head coach, but like Eric Bieniemy on the offensive side of the ball, really bringing some energy. New quarterback. Defense is back to fully healthy. Elite staff, by the way, or elite roster on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let me hear it. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Let me hear it.
Let me start with this. Sam Howell, dog. Brian Robinson got shot, played same season, dog. Antonio Gibson, dog. John Dotson, dog. Terry McLaurin hurt his toe, but still dog. And I just think that they're going to score 40 points. And the Cardinals are in the exact same boat as the Rams, and they are just absolutely tanking. They're absolutely tanking, and they are going to be so bad. And they just signed Joshua the Astro Dobbs, and they released Colt McCoy, which is actually kind of interesting because Dobbs might start. But they're starting a backup quarterback. They have zero weapons. They have 29 or 30-year-old James Conner, who gets hurt every single year, and the defense is bad. And I can't. I'm so excited for the Commanders to where I'm maybe going to start Sam Howell in my fantasy leagues this week. And Dotson is so good. He was injured midway through last year, but his first, I think, 5 games, he scored 4 touchdowns. And they're just going to rock it. The defense is back to healthy, and the Cardinals are so bad. This is one that I want to exploit before it gets crazy. It was 6.5 the line. It moved to 7. So I'm probably going to take that now before it goes up any higher.
Yeah,
it could get to like 8.5. It really could. Yeah. It could get out of control. So I'm going to talk about them every week because I'm just like, they could be a shootout team this year. I really believe that.
The money is 50-50 right now. So there's nothing weird going on in Vegas, but the line is moving, which is good news for us who likes the line, but get it before it turns into over a touchdown. So at least you can push on a touchdown margin, but get it before it goes to 7.5. I'm with you. I think the culture change. I think the scheme change. I think the roster change is really just going to like blow people out of the water at first look. They're not going to be some like uber sexy team on either side of the ball. But again, they do have an elite defensive staff, or excuse me, I say staff, roster. People forget, Chase Young, their entire defensive line, that's a top 5 unit when healthy.
It's really good.
Jonathan Allen, like all of them are beasts. So the defense is healthy. And then to your point, the Cardinals are openly tanking right now.
They're so bad.
Like Colt McCoy was like, who are they going to start? David Blau, Josh Dobbs? What? Kyler Murray isn't starting week 1. I mean, they're going to ease him in if he even plays this year. So
I don't know if he will.
I don't either. I mean, why would you? Why would you play Kyler Murray?
The only reason is if they can get some trade value out of it if they're going to draft a quarterback with the first pick, in my opinion. If they can show that he's back to normal and they're still going to let him go, then they can get a little bit extra there. But we're going to be taking a lot of teams against the Cardinals all season long.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Put it on the board, Commanders. Let's hear it. All right. Last game on my end that I wanted to talk about. I know there's one more on your end, but last game on my end. Bengals at Cleveland. Cleveland are 2.5-point underdogs. I'm going to shock the world here and go with the Cleveland Browns. Give me them boys to beat the Bengals at home in the dog pound. You heard it here first. Deshaun Watson and company are going to be a Super Bowl contender.
Oh.
And the Bengals just can't get it done in week 1 on the road. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I mean, you heard it here first. I may really regret saying this, but I think the Browns have a really, really complete roster. And I think they can contend with anybody. I think with the Bengals, with Joe Burrow having that calf injury, he's kind of been sitting out of practice, a good bit. So there might be some some
he's
time.
Fine.
I mean, I know he's fine, but come on, give me the Cleveland Browns in the dog pound. I'm taking them. I like the way that the odds favor up at home. I like the way the roster stacks up, and everything tells me, hey, go bet on the Browns. Go do it. 62% of the bets are on the Bengals, 38% on the Browns, but 68% of the money is on the Browns. I'm following the money. I think it's a sharp bet. Get it before it gets down even lower. Brendan, tell me why you think the Bengals win this one.
Look, I follow you, okay? I know I'm really high on the Browns also, but what a statement to say that preseason that they're going to be Super Bowl contenders with just their division. Look, the only thing I'm saying is they have the Ravens who are on really high, the Bengals who are always good, and the Steelers who are ascending. Just in that division, there's a really good possibility that they're a wild card team. And it's that just adds a whole extra game, dude. That's wild. I love it though, because I'm on them too. But this is another game that I won't touch. There's a lot of games that I'm fondling with, but I'm not going to touch this one. Deshaun did all the touching for me. I don't have to touch this one. It's the same thing as it's the exact same scenario as the Chargers and Dolphins, in my opinion. I just think it's too close, and I don't know what's going to happen. Both teams are good. I would love for the dog pound to start 1-0 and Deshaun to break out, like I had said before, or come back, or whatever you want to call. But I don't know. I can't take this one this early. But I love your confidence. I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna rock with it. Let's keep that one pocketed. Last game on the board for Brendan. This team goes to the Colts. They play in Indy. Jaguars -4 against Anthony Richardson and them boys. Brendan's heavy on the Jags. Let me hear why.
I am. I'm not real heavy on the Jags, but I think this is the exact same scenario as Carolina, where I'm saying you need to take advantage of these spreads early in the season because there will be a lot of growing pains because there's new players and new staff on this team. A new quarterback at the helm who I still think can't hit the broadside of a barn with a pass. It's really athletic. I'm not going to argue with that. And, they've got the Jonathan Taylor stuff going on. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't play in that game, Anthony Richardson can't pass the ball. I think they want to be more run heavy anyway. I just don't know how they're going to put points on the board. And we know that the Jaguars can put points on the board. They got everybody back, plus Calvin Ridley, who everyone's super high on. I mean, I think he will be really good. He's apparently dominating in training camp. He's done well in the preseason. And I just think early in the season here that the Colts don't have it. And I know you're higher on the Colts than I am, but in this game, first game of the season, I think it's easy to exploit the growing pains of a new team.
Yeah, if this was happening 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have picked the Colts here, and I would have, made it a point to go out with a beer bet or something. But I can't get on board with all the drama going on in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor holding out, the owner issues. Like Irsay is a fucking clown. What is he doing?
He sucks.
He needs to sell the team here soon. Dude's an imbecile. And it just seems like, a new coach, like first time head coach, maybe not handling that too well. I haven't heard any like bad news, but again, Shane Steichen may have issues navigating this craziness. So that's got me worried. Again, if this was like a couple weeks ago, right before all the Jonathan Taylor thing happened, I would be like, yes, give me the Colts. I think that they kind of make a statement as well. But again, this is one I'm not touching, but I can see the Jags love here just because the Colts are kind of in shambles upstairs. Maybe not the roster or the team necessarily, but the organization is kind of going through a little bit of a power struggle. So I just don't want to mess with these guys regardless. But it'll be a fun one because I am really excited to watch Anthony Richardson. And I'm also really excited to see what this new Jags team looks like. The offense taking the next step with an added weapon on the perimeter. Trevor Lawrence in his third year under Doug Peterson, the quarterback whisperer. It's going to be fun. It'll be a fun team, but we'll see. We'll see if they can live up to the hype. That's it. That's us for the main slate. Brendan, do you have anything else to share?
Yeah, Anthony Richardson is a bust.
Oh, false.
We'll see.
False.
We will see.
We will see, I guess, in due time. All right, guys, we appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to like, subscribe to the video. We appreciate you guys listening. Make sure to check out the links below with the Discord and the app and so forth. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. We'll talk to you later.